What's up, y'all? It's Ty. In this video today, we're going to be going over some of the new finesse cards added into NBA 2K25 MyTEAM. Now, yesterday, we did see some of the cards leaked, like Amare Stoudemire, George Gervin, Steve Nash, as well as Pink Diamond, David Thompson, George McGinnis. But what did we not see? We didn't see Larry Kenon leaked, who I think is the best card by far and away we're going to get, or at least the best card that's better than any card that was leaked last night. I mean, that's really what I want to say for Larry Kenon. So, am I, saying he's going to be the best card in the game? We'll get to that, but I just want you guys to know this drop is going to be better than it looked last night. Also, so it looks like we're going to get some decent diamond cards as well. Let's start it with Brent Barry. And again, please smash that subscribe button if you are new to the channel. Brent Barry, 6'7", shooting guard, a small forward, 6'10", wingspan. Let's look at the badges first. Okay, so he's got a total of 14 badges. Now, I'm normally one that I like to be somewhat optimistic for these cards. But if you've got 14 base badges, I just don't know how high I can be on the card. 94 3 ball is nice, 85 speed, 97 driving dunk. But look at the defense of Brent Barry. You cannot say that, like, I'm just here to complain. I mean, the dude's got a 67 interior, 80 perimeter, 62 steal, 63 block. I mean, what are these ratings? These guys, like, he stinks. Release-wise, Grayson Allen release, I don't know what that's like. Yikes is all I can say for this Brent Barry card. I mean, if you want to hype this card up somehow, some way, like, by all means try to, but you're better at it than I am, because I cannot find one thing to like about this card. Not one. Brent Barry is a garbage man on this game, and if you pick him up, good luck. Tyreke Evans up next. Got to be somewhat optimistic. Why? Because he's a 6'6" point guard. So, I mean, look, if you get a diamond, what is it? A diamond option pack, I believe, or, Tyreke Evans, I like the card. 88 3 ball, 95 speed, good defense, 6'6", Evan Fournier base. Tyreke Evans is a stud. Again, the release I don't think is going to be perfect, but I do want you guys to think Tyreke Evans is a stud because, I mean, there's no flaws. Defensively good. 6'6", 95 speed. And guess what? Speed is the most important stat you can have. So the fact that Tyreke Evans comes with it on 95 is super valuable, super important, can shoot the ball, can dunk the ball. He's 6'6". I genuinely don't know what there is to dislike about Tyreke Evans. So it's crazy that the diamond cards are just as good as, like, the pink diamonds in this set, but Tyreke Evans, I think, can play a little ball. I don't think he's necessarily going to be worth, 50,000 coins, but if he's like 20,000 coins, he might be your best budget point guard in the game. Maybe. I think Tyreke Evans has that type of potential. Mike Miller up next, 95 3 ball, 89 speed, 6'8", solid defense. Mike Miller is solid as well. And badge-wise, I mean, not perfect, but he comes with 20 badges. That's good enough to get by. It's not perfect, but it is good enough. Release-wise, Romeo Langford base is really solid. Normal leader, pro dribbles, the hot spots from 4 to 5 around the arc. I mean, between Mike Miller and Tyreke Evans, you've got two guys, two diamonds that are really solid. And so, like, if you go into the agendas today, what it should be, if it's similar to in the past, you should be able to grind for a diamond option pack. And honestly, like, even for my No Money Spent squad series, Tyreke Evans could probably help that squad out. Now, Mike Miller, my shooting guard position is stacked, so he probably wouldn't play. But I like the diamonds. And honestly, this is going to sound weird, but I'd rather have good diamonds than good opals as far as these drops, because when I'm looking at, the Galaxy opals, they're just going to be crazy overpriced. Larry Kenon up next, 78 3 ball, good release, pro dribble down, 92 3 ball, really perfect defense. Nothing negative I can say. Pro leaner is fine, 30 base badges, 6'9", a really solid pink diamond on this game. Larry Kenon is a really solid pink diamond. And so, like, I'm really eager to see, or not eager, but I'm curious as to why 2K decided to leak all of the trash cards coming today and not leak a guy like Larry Kenon, a card that actually people would not hate. Like, Larry Kenon can play. He is definitely a solid card that if you get, I mean, again, I don't know, the specifics on it, but if I got Larry Kenon on the No Money Spent, he would definitely play for me. Now, again, I'm not going to get him because, I don't open packs, any of those types of things, but if you get the card, he can play. Now, one thing I will say is if you do end up purchasing that thing for $50, I wouldn't, but if you do, Larry Keenan definitely is the option at the pink diamond tier, and then it's between Tyreek Evans and Mike Miller at the diamond tier. George McGinnis up next, 88 speed, 83 ball, solid defense. Pat Bev base on normal, like okay, normal dribble style. I mean, the problem with George McGinnis is he's 6'8". That's really the big problem. 6'8" power forward, super undersized. And I mean, with that, if a card is 6'8", it is undersized. Normally you want him to have like, a super cheese release, stuff like that. Really doesn't do a whole lot offensively, like can't really play make, release wise isn't perfect. It's not horrible, but it's not perfect. And so, defensively, he does do some things, but remember, he's only 6'8", so it's tough to really hype it up too much. I do not love George McGinnis on this game. Some of you guys might. Some of you guys might think George McGinnis is good, and if that's you, that's fine. I'm just saying for myself, it's tough for me to really hype this card up a whole ton. I just don't think he's that great. David Thompson up next. I have seen some people gas David Thompson since last night. 6'4", 6'7" wingspan. Stat-wise, great. Speed-wise, good. Three-ball dunking, fine. The problem is he's only 6'4". D-book base, obviously is good. Normal leaner, normal dribble style is troll. So he's 6. So here's what you're getting out of David Thompson, because I want you guys to understand this. Okay, he is 6'4" with a bad dribble style, with D-book on normal. Remember, D-book's got his base, I think, on quick. David Thompson's got it on normal. And so if you think this card is going to go out there and give you something crazy good, you're just wrong. He's fine. He's fine. But remember, he's only 6'4". And if you're 6'4", on my court, it's tough to play you because what are you going to run at the point guard position? I mean, if you pair him with Tyreek Evans, I mean, maybe I guess he's going to be a better then. But it's just tough for me to see the vision of really hyping up this David Thompson card. Do I think he's an absolute garbage man? No. I don't think David Thompson is the worst shooting guard in the game, anything like that. But do I think he's, anything special? Do I think he's worth the amount of coins he's going to end up being? No. I don't think David Thompson is worth anything. Steve Nash up next. Steve Nash based on normal dribbling style, normal release, normal leaner. Yikes. I mean, name a worse card that I've talked about than Steve Nash. You can't. This card is an absolute scrub on this game. Yes, I know his three-ball high is high. Yes, I know his speed is high. But he is 6'3". The card can't dunk. I mean, how do you hype this Steve Nash card up? Badge-wise, he's honestly decent. 13 Hall of Famers, 14 on gold. Badge-wise is not the problem for Steve Nash. It's just the fact that this card stinks animation-wise. He's not going to be able to dunk. I don't know how I'm supposed to sit here and be high on Steve Nash. This card, it leaves a ton to be desired on this game. A ton. And I'm not trying to be super negative, but that's just the situation with Steve Nash. I don't see how anybody can sit up here and try to gas this card. This card stinks. 6'3", can't dunk. Release not great, not good. George Gervin up next. Now, I've got George Gervin. Okay, I've got the Iceman. And so I can give you guys a full glimpse, a full picture on how good this card is. Now, I want to start this by saying George Gervin's not horrible. I've used the card plenty. He's actually plays for me right now because, again, I got the card for free. However, I want you guys to somewhat limit your expectations. George Gervin is not a top 5 or 10 shooting guard in the game. He's fine, but I just wouldn't put him in that category. 6'7", 6'10" wingspan. I feel like his player build is kind of skinny, so depending on how much you value that. 89, 3-ball, 93, speed, defensively solid, driving, dunk solid. He's a solid all-around shooting guard on this game. I don't think his release is bad, but I don't think it's great. It's just kind of in that middle range. I think it's fine. Pro dribble style, his movement's not that great. I don't mind his pro leaner. That's one thing for George Gervin that I really don't mind. I think his pro leaner is solid. And so, is George Gervin horrible? No. If you get him, obviously he can play. And if you're asking, Ty, who do I choose as the Galaxy Opals? If you open that pack for $50, which I wouldn't recommend, but if you do, I'd probably recommend as far as the Galaxy Opals to choose George Gervin. And that just doesn't feel right because I really don't even love George Gervin. But I think that's who I would recommend for you guys. Card is definitely solid. Not anything crazy, though. Last but certainly not least, Amare Stoudemire. 6'10", 7'2", a wingspan here. When I'm looking at Amare, he's not bad. Like if you look at his stats, there's nothing really bad about the card. From top to bottom, 84 3-ball. Well, guess what? That's good enough. You can get by with that. 90 speed, decent defense. I think the problem really with me is the badges for Amare. It's like, you got good, honestly, you got good stats. It's the badge count. 7 Hall of Famers, 10 on gold, 1 on silver, 1 on bronze. He has 19 base badges for a Galaxy Opal at this stage. That just does not seem right to me at all. And combine that with his animations being mediocre, like Amare Stoudemire based on normal, basic dribble style, normal leaner. It's just like his release isn't great. You know, you want him to be really solid badge-wise, and he's just not. Defensively, I just don't think he gives you a ton. He's fine, but I just don't think he gives you a ton. And so I'm looking at Amare Stoudemire, and the only thing I can think to myself is mid. Like, yikes, mid. And so I think Gervin's the best Galaxy Opal. I think Keenan's the best pink diamond. I'd probably lean Tyreek Evans or Mike Miller at that diamond tier, but the diamonds are just as exciting as the Galaxy Opals today. That's gonna wrap it up for our video. Let me know your thoughts on these new cards down below in the comments. Who are you guys excited to pick up for your squad? Drop a like on the video, subscribe if you are new, and as always, man, I love you guys. Have a blessed day.